Howdy champs, my name is Mohit and people. Today I'm going to show you how to create an image carousel using Bootstrap 3. It's a front-end framework. So straight away let's start with the browser preview. So let's bring up preview in Firefox. This is coming up. So look at the image carousel, people. It slides automatically. That's one slides. It has a time duration set at 3000 milliseconds or 3 seconds. You see it has left and right arrows that allow you to control the carousel as well. You see the area on the left and the right darkens up as you hover, and also on a hover the image slider actually freezes too. It freezes, but then it allows you to control through the arrows, these left and right arrows, and the small white pills at the bottom out here, these small white circles at the bottom. Okay, so and once you hover off the images, then you can it'll be set back to auto resume. It'll resume its play. So this is the way the slider is actually created. Has a lot of controls, people. Automatic control as well as manual intervention once you actually hover on the images. So let's see how this was actually created. Okay, so people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some code. I'm going to lose some code, and whatever code I'm actually going to lose, I'm going to recreate for you. Okay, so basically let's do one thing. Let's destroy all the code that is inside the opening and the closing body tags, and let's use everything that is inside the head of the document. Okay. Okay, so let's examine the code before we actually proceed. So after the title tag, people, we have two link tags and two script tags. Now these two link and script tags are actually CDNs, or content delivery networks. Basically these are links that tie up with the requisite files that we require for Bootstrap 3 to function. So it's actually tying up with Bootstrap minified CSS file, tying up with Bootstrap theme.min.css file, tying up with the latest jQuery library, people, jQuery min.js and bootstrap.min.js. Okay, these are the requisite files. They have been kept remotely on a different server, and through the these links we are tying up with them. So we are not using the physical files, but we are actually using the CDNs, or content delivery networks. We have an internal style. It has a class of container, margin top 50, max width has been set to a 970. 970 is also the width of the three different images that we're going to use in this example. Okay, so let's start. Our body is going to have a div with a class of container. People, I'm going to hit Control plus comma to expand the code. I'm using Zen coding. It's a code assist plugin. Okay, so the container ends out here. Now container is a pre-built inbuilt class. It's a standard Bootstrap 3 class, people, and will create a centered block, a centered division for you. Okay, and as you can already see that I have set the max width to 970, a margin top to 50 for this container. This is going to act like the wrapper. Okay, inside this, people, I'm going to create yet another division. I'm going to give it a class of carousel. This is again an inbuilt or standard class. I'm going to set the carousel behavior to slider. These are all pre-written classes, people, as well as give the division an ID of, let's say, ID is equal to my carousel or whatever. Now this ID is something that you can actually choose, but you can't decide these classes. These are pre-built and built classes, so you have to write them as is. Okay, so the division is going to act like the the wrapper for the carousel, which will have the slider behavior. We are also going to give it a data interval, or the time duration for the slider. We're going to set it at 3 seconds. Okay, data ride automatic kickoff for the the slider behavior through this attribute data rider. We're going to set it to carousel again. This is automatic kickoff. Okay, let's close the division up out here. Cool. So the outer div has a class of container, the inner div has a class of my carousel, then we have has an ID of my carousel class of carousel and slider, a data interval attribute of 3000 data, right? Attribute set to carousel. Okay, let's save the document up. Cool. Okay, at this point, people, I'm gonna create an OL list. An OL list that's gonna create those white white pills that you saw that could control the movement of the sliders. See, I'm just copying pasting some bit of code, people, just to keep things a little fast and snappy. Okay, these are gonna act like the OL list, or the ordered list is gonna act like the is going to create those white pills at the bottom, or the white circles. One is going to be hollow, one is going to be darkened, the other two going to be hollow. Okay, and you see the OL has been given an inbuilt pre-built class of carousel indicator with 3 li items corresponding to the 3 different images that we're going to use: oranges, melon, and strawberry. Okay, and we're going to create 3 bullets, and see the data target attribute. Through the data target attribute, I'm tying up with my carousel, the carousel that we are actually creating, and they have yet another attribute called data slider 2 here, here, and here, and has been given a value of 0, 1, and 2, basically the position of the bullets: first bullet, second bullet, third bullet, but the indexing starts with 0, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, only the first bullet is going to be active, not the other two. Obviously, that's going to make sure that the first bullet is kind of darkened, the other two are not darkened, are hollow. Okay, so this is as far as the carousel indicators goes, or the small white dots at the bottom that allow you to control the movement of the different images. Okay, so at times I'll be copying and pasting some code, at times I'll not be doing that. Okay, next, people, I'm gonna be pushing in carousel items, or the 3 different images in question. So yep, so how do you do that? It's very easy. Create another div, give it a class of carousel inner. Carousel inner. Okay, close the division up. Very cool. And inside the carousel inner, I'm gonna push in yet another div which is gonna contain the different items. So a class, a pre-built inbuilt class of, see, all the classes that I'm using out here are all pre-built, people, pre-written for you. Class of item as well as active. The first image is going to be the active image, not the other two. Okay, and yep, and this division is actually going to contain the image. So let's bring in the first image, a copy and a paste this time. Thank God. Okay, so imgsrc. Cool. So this is the first item, people, pointing to oranges.jpg. Again, a 970 wide, a 970 pixels wide image. Alternate text oranges. Class has been set to image responsive. Again, inbuilt class, people, pre-built class, pre-written class is gonna make the images responsive. Okay. And since the division with the carousel inner is going to have 3 different images, let's copy this, let's paste it here and here for the 3 different images. So the second image is not going to be the active one, nor is the third image going to be an active one. So removing the active class from here and here. Okay, righto, and this orange is going to change to melon. Sorry. Melon, and this is going to change to strawberry .jpg. Very cool. Okay, at this point, let's see how things behave inside the browser. Let's refresh. Okay, I can see, I can't see the, everything is fine. I can see those white pills here at the bottom, those white dots. Everything is fine except it's not sliding properly. Let's see why. Let's check why. Let's go through the code. This is not slider, this should be slide. This class should be slide. Okay, should be fine now. And let's refresh to see the change. Should be an automatic kickoff, yes. And if I hover, you see it actually freezes. If I hover off, it should resume. And these are the carousel indicators, people. Those, those circles, white circles. Yeah, cool. Okay. Now all I'm left with is to add the previous and the next buttons through the anchor tags. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, so this is where the this division is where the carousel inner div closes. This opens out here, closes out here. Carousel inner. Okay, so I'm gonna create the carousel nav out here. So carousel nav, the way you actually navigate through the previous and the next buttons. See, I'm going to talk you verbatim through the code. The first anchor tag. Anchor tags always have the href attribute. We are tying it up with my carousel, the ID my carousel. If you remember, the first div had the, this div had the ID my carousel. Okay, so it's tying up with this div, and data slide attribute has been set to prev, so it's going to take us to the previous image. And the anchor tag has been set a class of carousel control. So this anchor tag is a special kind of anchor tag. These are all pre-built inbuilt classes, people. The carousel control, the left, etc. And this is gonna act like the left button. Okay, and this left button is going to use a glyph icon, or a inbuilt pre-built icon, a glyph icon. So we have a span opening closing out here with a class of glyph icon. And what type of glyph icon? Specifically of the type glyph icon chevron left. Okay, another anchor tag. This is going to act as the right button, or the right greater than sign, and this is going to act like the going to throw up the left or the less than sign. So carousel control right this time. So this is gonna take you to the next image. That is why the attribute data slide is set to next. The href again is tying to my carousel div. Okay, right. So this is for the left button, this is for the right button, or the right icon, or the glyph icon. And this span tag opening closing has been given a class of glyph icon to indicate that we're going to use a glyph icon specifically of the type glyph icon chevron right. Okay, so you see the main div was divided in 3 sections: carousel nav, carousel items, the 3 different images, and the carousel indicators, or the bullets, or the OL list, ordered list, the small white pills at the bottom. So that's it. And with the class left and right, you also get the blackish shaded area when you hover over the different images. I'm gonna show you in a minute. So let's save the document up, bring the browser up, let's refresh. Okay, see, this area got shaded a little bit blackish here and here, especially when you hover. You get near those less than and the greater than icons, or the glyph icons. Okay, it kind of darkens up. And when you actually click, you are able to navigate through the different items, the different pictures, and these small white pills are the carousel indicators. So you see, it's so very easy to create this carousel, people. Let me hover off and see the automatic behavior too. See, the only issue actually really is to remember those different pre-built inbuilt classes, and the different attributes that we use. But again, it's all a matter of practice. It'll become second habit one day. It's all about practice, people. There are so many classes that we have used: carousel indicators, carousel inner, carousel active, item, image responsive, etc. But then this is what Bootstrap is. It has so many inbuilt routines and snippets and classes. It takes time to get a little used to them, but once you get used to them, it's gonna be a cakewalk. So people, I hope you found this information useful. This project is gonna be available as a free download from my website, the downloads section. And in the end, people, I'm going to show you how to actually add captions to the different images. So what we're going to do is, let's head to the division with the class of carousel inner, which then contains another div, class of item and active. Okay, so this is the first image. Let's say I would want to add a caption to the first image. If I show you how to add a caption to the first image, you can obviously do it with the second and the third image too. So just after the image tag, okay, which closes here, self-closing tag, what you're gonna do is you're gonna say a div with again another pre-built inbuilt class of carousel caption. Yeah, so simple. Close it out here, and then inside the opening and the closing, let's say h3 tags, you're gonna, let's say, oh, juicy oranges, and let's say add a paragraph tag 2 out here for the subtitle. This is going to act as the subtitle. Look, loaded with vitamin C. Okay, so all I did was, after the image tag, pushed in another division with the class of inbuilt pre-built class of carousel caption, which encapsulated h3 and p tags to act as the titles and the subtitles. So oh juicy oranges is the title, subtitle is loaded with vitamin C. Okay, and let's save the information up. Let's check the Firefox preview to confirm the change. Okay, so oh juicy oranges loaded vitamin C, the caption been added only to the first image, not the second and the third one, because if you know how to do it with the first one, you can obviously do it with the second and the third one too. It's that simple, people. Right, so people, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You have a good day. Bye bye. Peace.